And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome to Open Connection. I'm your host, Robert Pictou. The first chamber in North America was founded in Halifax in 1750. Today, there are 500 local Chamber of Commerce or Boards of Trade in about 600 communities across Canada, with about 170,000 individual and corporate memberships. We begin today's Open Connection with past president of the Prince Rupert Chamber of Commerce, Jason Scheer.
Moving to the community here from Victoria back in 2000, I was involved in the business community, working downtown, and started attending chamber meetings because I felt it was important to understand the city and who was involved. And, as with most people who arrive in Prince Rupert with skills, talent, and interest in being involved, you're quickly called upon to be part of a committee or task force or volunteer activity. And so it wasn't for very long that one of the current president reached out and asked if I was interested in being on the board. And it was a pretty easy decision for me. I mean, the board had a very strong group of people around the table, and it still does. And it allowed me to have, basically give back to the community. If anyone knows the history of Prince Rupert, it's been pretty boom and bust. When I moved to Prince Rupert, it was right before the closure of the pulp mill. And so, it was a pretty bleak economic environment up until the revitalization of the port and in particular Fairview Terminal. And so, on the board at that time, the board was struggling with trying to figure out how to help the business community through that very bleak period. Take the reins of the chamber as president, sort of on the upswing. So we saw, revitalized activity in the community, more commerce, stores were opening up, retail and commercial sectors were starting to do better. And so, it was I guess I was fortunate to have had that ability to be involved in the chamber, like I said, on that upswing.
Business Excellence Award. How were the awards in the past?
The awards predated me. They had been a long-standing fixture of the chamber in terms of recognizing excellence in our business community and shining a light on various businesses and players in the community. In my time in the chamber, the board members around the table and myself really felt that we needed to figure out how do we kind of add some additional pieces to the Business Excellence Awards to further showcase a more diverse group of recipients, but also underpinning that, why are those reasons why those businesses are selected? And so I think that was one of the biggest pieces is that, for those who are nominated, we asked those nominating the businesses or whoever, individuals, to give the reasons why. And it was quite enlightening to see, with that bit of extra commentary, why we have such an amazing and fantastic business community here and the bonds and the network that have been developed over a long history. With the recent pandemic and there's a real struggle for businesses to keep their doors open and for trade and commerce to continue, which is why I really think that this is a really key part to what the chamber can do for our members in the community and the community as a whole, is to ensure that we provide visibility on who's doing what in the community, why they're doing it, how they're excelling, and really build some excitement around, the local commerce and our local business community overall.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Thank you for staying with us. According to the Statistics Canada website, small businesses make up 98% of all employer businesses in Canada. Let us return to the conversation with current president of the Prince Rupert Chamber of Commerce, Michelle Boomers-McNeil.
Being involved in my community from a business perspective has always been really important to me. And in my prior community, I was also involved with the chamber. So I knew coming back to Prince Rupert, I wanted to lend my voice to that community. So yeah, 2 years ago, I was elected as president of the Prince Rupert Chamber. So I am the voice and obviously the face of the chamber when time is needed. And, we're really here to advocate and support our business community and make sure that we're getting their messages out.
Now, one of those things, of course, with COVID that it hit, it has impacted businesses in many ways we haven't even thought of. How has Prince Rupert kind of weathered the storm so far?
It's been interesting. There's definitely some businesses and industries that have done better than others. I always like to say it's really kind of highlighted and showcased the industries and services that are essentially, I would say, recession-proof, but essentially pandemic-proof as well. There's many service industries that we come to know and love and need in our daily lives, as well as obviously our supply providers, such as grocery stores and things like that. But Prince Rupert has a really interesting industrial base that has really just continued to move. And, we're very much in the transportation sector globally. And that's really kind of carried us through this time. And, there's been some small players that have had a lot more challenges, specifically in the hospitality industry, of course. Restaurants and hotels, because tourism, of course, is essentially canceled. But, overall, I think we've weathered this fairly well. And we weathered this as one collective group. And that was one thing that the chamber really focused on when the pandemic reared its ugly head, was to bring the community together. And we've had an opportunity to connect with people that we normally don't see. A lot of the small business owners, we don't see them at our luncheons or our events because they are busy, head down working. But, here we've given them the virtual opportunity to Zoom in and call in and really collaborate with each other. So it's been an interesting journey for sure.
And of course, one of those things I guess you kind of do is that you want to let the community know who's really doing well. And there's this Business Excellence Awards. What is that all about?
So the Business Excellence Awards is something that's been around for many years, and most chambers of commerce host an event in that realm as well. It's really always been about celebrating each other successes. We reach out to the community at large to tell us what they think about the local businesses and service providers that they interact with, on an annual basis. So we have a number of different categories that we request nominations for, and this year, to me, it was a little bit more poignant in the fact that, we really wanted to encourage people to really give good shout outs to the businesses that they essentially hold near and dear to their heart. So, we have community involvement awards, dining distinction, entrepreneurship awards, even home-based business excellence awards. So it really covers the vast range of business offerings that we have here in Prince Rupert. And this year, we have created a new category that was called Excellence in Responding to Unexpected Challenges. And we were looking for people to really tell us who did they see or really notice, really kind of pivoted and showed incredible resilience during this time. So this year more than ever, I think it's a really great time to support our businesses in this regard. And you know what? I think we all need a little bit of lightness in our lives right now, and to be able to, reach out to each other is really important. We're very grateful, especially this year, to all of our sponsors, because we know it has been a super challenging time. And typically we're preparing for a big kind of gala event where I have to go out and buy a new dress. And thankfully this year I don't have to do that. I can just stay at home in my sweatpants, and that's okay. But we also this year are really calling upon our restaurant sponsors to, host some really exciting and different takeout menus, because we really do want to engage everybody in the community. So right now, the board of directors is actively contacting restaurants in our area and just encouraging those kind of specials, and so that our community that's going to be sitting at home in their sweatpants watching this extravaganza this year can have some really good food to eat while they're doing that. I just really would encourage people that to follow us on social media and to wait for the call to listen to the videos to vote. So what we've done is the board of directors and the Rising Stars have gotten together with the nominees and done one-on-one interviews to give us kind of that deep down look at some of these nominees. So when the voting starts, we really, really do encourage people to take part, because this is really an opportunity for us to say thank you. The public voting starts February 17th and runs until the 20th. And then the actual virtual event is Saturday, February 27th. And, we're going to try to have as much fun with it as we can, make it as interactive as we can, considering that we can't all get together this year. So I just really hope that people really step up and just vote their hearts out for these people that are here for us day in and day out.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome back to Open Connection. Since 2005, the Prince Rupert and District Chamber of Commerce offers a unique mentoring program to local students called Rising Stars. Students are matched with chamber members who have volunteered to become mentors. Mentors and the chamber introduce students to the local world of business. Let us rejoin the conversation with participants of the Rising Stars.
Laurie Wilson is the one that got matched for me. So in the whole program, it takes around 5 to 6 months. And then in those 5 to 6 months, we receive coaching from our mentors. And we also have seminars, like academic seminars and speech crafts that helps us with our communication, and also additional skills for when we finish our schooling and head out to the business industry. So it's kind of a shadowing and mentoring kind of thing.
One of the most valuable things I felt over the years for the Rising Stars was the chamber lunches, because they were able to come to every chamber lunch, and we would try to make a point of moving the Rising Stars around so they had a chance to interact and network with the rest of the business community in Prince Rupert and make connections and discuss various business opportunities. And a number of the Rising Stars who have gone through the chamber program have gone on to start their own businesses and have done very well.
Did you have to do a proposal or something like that to kind of make yourself stand out?
Okay, so for starters, the chamber opens an application for the Rising Star program. So I applied, I think it was around November, I think that month. And then I sent my application on the last day because I heard of it the last minute. And then by the first or second week of December, they already sent schedules for the interview if I were to proceed, and then it went on from there. So the official Rising Star schedule started January with our kickoff dinner.
How do you see the future of the Prince Rupert business community?
Well, firstly, I'm new to the community, and right now I'm still trying to immerse myself with the whole community, the business side of it and the people side of it. But as far as I've been here, almost a month or so, I've found a lot of areas where there could opportunities could rise from there. But COVID, I think, is one of the things that hinders those. But if we successfully deal with COVID beyond the COVID era, hopefully soon, I see like a lot of things that could come from Prince Rupert. We're a very tight-knit community, and a lot of things can happen with just involvement and engagement within the community.
And Lori, is this the first time that you actually have been kind of helping a rising star in Prince Rupert?
Yes, it is. And Jasper has been a joy. I have had some family issues, and so I felt like I haven't been as helpful to Jasper at times as she has needed, but she's done so much work and has just been a joy to work with.
Where do you see the chamber fit in to support businesses now and in the future?
I think the chamber does an excellent job of supporting businesses, and they are wonderful advocates for Prince Rupert with the rest of the province. And I think they have done a lot of work in questioning the various businesses on what they need. And then once they find out what it is businesses need to continue to go forward, then they have been just an excellent advocate. And they've been a really good source, as I was saying about the chamber lunches. I really miss the chamber lunches. That's probably coming through loud and clear, because you found out so much of what was going on within the community. And even just getting all the business people together in a room and sitting down and having a conversation with each other, that opened up all sorts of opportunities for business to expand.
And Jasper, if someone was interested in the Rising Star program, what would you tell them?
The Rising Star program is a commitment, so I would not recommend for them to just enter without being committed to it. So that's first thing, commitment. And then second thing is that it's just full of enjoyment, and we're here to learn. So we're not here to prove anything or whatsoever. We're here to learn from our mentors and from our peers, and hopefully emerge from it as better leaders of the future. So if you want to go that route, be a better leader of the future, then you should consider the Rising Stars program.
And Lori, if someone was asking about whether they should mentor a Rising Star, what would you suggest for them?
I would say go for it if you have the time. There was a speechcraft segment which was put on by the Toastmasters to learn to become a better speaker. There has been some programs so that you can learn opportunities for when you go on from your post-secondary education. And those are also available for the mentors. So if you're a mentor, you can also learn to improve your speechcraft, and you learn so much from your mentee. Like I have the work that Jasper has put into her project, I have reading it over and I'm learning from her as we go along also. It's definitely worth getting into.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Every year, the Prince Rupert and District Chamber of Commerce, residents, employees, and business owners join together to honor and celebrate business excellence. In this final segment of Open Connection, Janet Shaw shares her thoughts.
The Chamber is we are a nonprofit organization that aims to support, connect, and advocate for the business community. Of course, last year was definitely different in how we reach out, but we wanted to make sure that we were still there, and so we made a huge response right after when the pandemic hit. We immediately planned weekly conference calls to bring together government and service organizations and businesses together to share what is going on and how can we collaborate together. But that's a little bit of an example of how we are key connectors in our community with our networking sessions. We've been doing virtual monthly luncheons, but we also communicate news in our social media and our weekly newsletters. We support youth empowerment. We just started a digital 5-month youth entrepreneurship program where we're having youth build businesses and have them get seed funding by the end of the term for select youth who pitch. And finally, we advocate for our businesses both provincially as also a national scale. So overall, we try to make sure that our businesses are healthy, our local economy is supported, and we're the voice. And we're here via call or mail or even an email. So happy to have a conversation to support how businesses can grow here.
Every year, the Prince Rupert Chamber of Commerce has the Business Excellence Awards. I guess this year it's going to be a little different.
Yeah, of course. So this year we're still doing our finalist episodes, which were already broadcasted online already. So we're interviewing them via Zoom, and we're showcasing 14 different awards. The new one being challenges to unexpected changes and how they're being showing excellence in that. So that's exciting. But what's different is instead of having a space for our awards assembly, we're doing a broadcast. But not only that, we're still supporting businesses since we're having a BEA, Business Excellence Awards takeout menu, working with restaurants throughout our city for them to share their specials on an award so people can eat and dine while watching the broadcast on the live TV. So how people will be voting is we will have our episodes shown on the 17th, so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so 17th, 18th, and 19th. And what you'll see is have 24 hours to watch the episode, to vote for their certain awards. Make sure you check out our event page that we're launching by Monday. And then after that, in 24 hours, they text or call who they want, and we will get the results, and then we'll share them on the next week after on the Saturdays.
Jenna, is there anything I missed that you'd like to add?
I think that it's very important for us to not just share that these events are happening, but for people to attend. The call to action I want to say is these episodes of the finalists is not about them being excited to get an award. It's about the story of how they started their business, of what made them motivated to continue operating and make changes. And finally, how they're still providing value for our community. So listen to these stories in the next 3 days of the voting period on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and really listen to just who your community members are. And come in, it's free for the broadcast. Eat the food from the takeout. Go in and watch with your family. And the finalists, I highly encourage you to join the Zoom call, which I'll send you more information about, where on that Zoom call, we're going to announce the winner, and we want to give you guys some time to share about the impact of this award that has on you, or just thank your supporters. So we want to give people the space to celebrate, and the space to share their story, and the space for them to advertise themselves, and for us as a community to understand why we should support local.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Open Connection. The greatest distance in the existence of man is not from here to there, but that connection from his mind to his heart. If we can conquer that distance, we can soar like an eagle and realize our immensity within. I'm Robert Pictou.